bullpen. I had my own bullpen. Because I had an original tribute that I was going to do. And I just felt like, you know, I've had to deal with some issues over the past couple of weeks, so I was feeling like, you know what, I need something that's going to be, you know, not cerebral, but something that's emotional, uplifting. So today I wanted to introduce and then get out of the way of a person I think a lot of us are have a what is the word, visceral reaction to when we see this person. Somehow I just noticed as I was struggling to come up with something different from what I was going to give today. It was interesting because I was thinking, wow, this is every time I do some work where I'm trying to, you know, come up with something creative, I have to obviously, like many of us, to put music on. And as I put that music on, I thought, wait a minute, this is the music that I want to hear. This is the person that I want to hear or talk about today because he makes an impact on a lot of people. So, without a lot of conversation, I want to introduce Donny Hathaway is the individual. There's not really a lot for me to say. A lot of people already know about Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway has had an impact on a lot of people, and there's not really a lot I have to say because people read his bio, they hear about his bio. We know he's a singer, songwriter, vocalist. He did many projects. In fact, he did. As I was researching this, I realized that he did the song. Are people familiar with that TV show Maude?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I had no idea that he sang that song. I had no idea. But so anyway, that's just a simple thing, but it just blew me away how much impact that he had on people's lives, their awareness. Obviously, there's a lot of rappers, there's a lot of people who covered his songs. So that of course was something I was familiar with, but it still really made an impact on me as I was reading through his material. So in his early life, he was born in Chicago, and he went to Howard University, and that's where he met his wife. And he had some affiliation, I believe, with Roberta Flack. I'm not sure if Roberta Flack went to.
Yeah, wait, no. Roberta Flack and Leroy Hudson attended to get music school together.
Right. And this is what I was hoping for too. Right. For people to correct me, because the whole reason why one of the reasons why I wanted him is because I know people are impacted by him. So there's two songs that I wanted to do on YouTube today. I'm going to get out of the way because he can do it way better than I can do it.
You're not going to sing along with me?
You can sing along.
No,
I'm talking about you.
Can lead, though.
You lead.
Only in my house. Only in my house. In a small room. Soundproof. So two songs, and I'll go ahead and tell you what they are. The first song is in the spirit of the season that we're moving into, and that season is the graduation season. Of course, Young, Gifted, and Black is one song I wanted just to hear that, and obviously young people hear, so that even makes it all the better. But we're moving into that season of graduations. A lot of people back east are already going through that process, so I wanted to at least have that song because it's meaningful to me even at my stage in life, because we all went through that period when we were young, but we still are gifted and black. And so I still feel like that is appropriate for us to hear and feel, and just as a group, you know, get that appreciation. And then the other song that I wanted to play, because yesterday was Malcolm X's birthday, and obviously he had a profound impact on many of us. So it's just interesting to me that the power, the passion that both of these individuals have, and how they've gone over many decades of how they impact our community. So I wanted to say something. I intended only to talk for a minute or a minute and a half, but of course, I'm just waiting.
Yeah, filling in.
Just filling in.
We could play the second thing I want to wait.
So I just wanted, that was the other thing I was going to do in the event. Any recollections that people have, any fond recollections that they have about Donny Hathaway that they feel is, you know, very significant, because I know everyone does to some degree. Obviously, we know the reasons. Well, his passing was in January of 1979, and I remember I think I was just out of high school or something like that. And of course that hit a lot of people very hard, Johnny Hathaway's passing, because of just the power of his music, the power of his personality. But he was a troubled person, and that may be due to the fact that he had I guess he has possibly paranoid schizophrenic. I don't know what his diagnosis of his condition was, but he did take medication, and evidently his wife, I guess through some discussions, his wife suggested he didn't take it as consistently as he should. But in any event, he did commit suicide, and I guess that adds to the folklore oftentimes of people and their, especially artists. So we're going to have two songs. The first one will be Young Gifted in Black, the original, and then I think it's the original. And then the second one will be Someday We'll All Be Free.
Go ahead.
So if somebody want to cry,
Do it then.
that's all right. Because I did when I was listening to it last night, you know, just considering all that goes on in our lives right now. So I'm going to just get off with that. Okay. Unfortunately, there was no cool video.
Open your heart to what I mean. 'Cause you know, in this whole wide world, there's a million boys and girls who are young, and blind. That's a fact. Oh, yes, it is. To the young, gifted, and blind. We must begin to tell our young don't you know that there's a whole world waiting for you. Haven't you heard the quest has just begun? Don't you know that the joy of the day.
Okay, so I wanted to at least give you a piece of that, And yesterday was Malcolm X's birthday, obviously. For those of you who didn't know, it was. And this YouTube piece that this person did, this was his tribute to Malcolm X, and it just merged nicely into my selection of Donny Hathaway. So we can just enjoy the slides and the music. Donny Hathaway and a recognition of Malcolm X's birthday. Well, I guess one last thing I'll say is that you should go back and you should listen to that song again. Someday We'll All Be Friends. That song, even though Young, Gifted, and Black is fantastic, but that song right there, Someday We'll All Be Free, he says it all. So, I'll share.
Can I just share a memory?
Yes, absolutely.
I think I was like a year out of high school.
Yeah.
And there was a concert that I attended where it was a bunch of acts that were there.
Yeah.
And in between acts, you know how brothers get, stand together, hang out and, kick it. So we were all standing around talking. and there was the short brother walked up, you know, and he gave everybody some dap and everything, and I was trying to remember where I knew him from, you know, because he was so familiar and, you know, talking, and it was a while before everybody realized that was him. That was Donnie. That was.
Oh, okay, that's what
he just, you know, he hadn't even gone on to do his act yet. He was just wanted to mix with the people and see what was up, and you know, he just hung out with us. You know, that's the kind of brother he was. But even though he had, you know, some challenges, you know, in other areas, but you know, he was a, you know, very sweet brother.
Well, that's what I think
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say, and I haven't been able to bring it all up because it's an emotional thing for me to even, you know, listen to his music a lot of times. But I think that's the point I'm trying to make, that he was a troubled person through a whole lot of troubled times.
Yeah.
And the beauty of his music lasts well beyond him, and I think that's what that impressed me the most. And I think that's the thing that I'm hoping everyone kind of takes away, that no matter how stressful and no matter how, you know, the times are, you still can create a lot of beauty and give it to the world, and it may last well beyond you.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you have nothing to contribute. You want to
I was just going to say, it's so interesting, you know, mental health in our community, because I think some of the people that we would label as like the most troubled
Yes.
or mentally challenged in our traditional society, we would have exalted as our oracles, as our seers, as the ones we go to, because they're already, you know?
Yes, that's exactly my other point. The other point is that we don't realize the geniuses that live amongst us, and they look troubled to us, and they think that it looks like they have all kinds of problems, but they're the very people that end up giving us these gifts that we take with us and help us get through so much of our lives. So I've taken up too much of your time. Ashe.
Donnie.
Good morning. My name is Kata Bazi, and I want to thank the brother for that wonderful historical tribute. And I'd like to say that I'm very pleased to see so many young people in the congregation this morning.
That was kind of.
It's very beautiful, very good to balance out some of the old gray senior energy here with some youth energy. But it's all good. So I'd like to say welcome to all the young people and to all the people that may be coming for the first time. This is the time in our service known as the Litany of Sacrifice. And the Litany of Sacrifice offers an opportunity for us to give back a portion of that which we have received. Okay. Brother Shango is moving amongst you with offering envelopes to accept your offerings. But before we get to that point, I have selected an inspirational reading for this morning. And typically what I do a lot of times, I'll just open Lucia up to whatever passage that is there, and that becomes the inspirational reading. And somehow or another, it always seemed to fit, seemed to tie in. And in conjunction with the historical tribute, one of the things that comes through with these historical tributes is that we see our ancestors, and we see the sacrifices that they have made in order for us to be here and to enjoy the quality of life that we do. And oftentimes they're very young men and women. After a number of years, we tend to think of them as being old, but when they were doing their work, they were quite young. Malcolm was a young man by today's standards. Dr. King was a young man by today's standards. And so, and when we read the papers and we look at the morning news, almost each day we can review the statistics of young people in our community having lost their lives in various forms of violence. And so that reminded me of the whole process and the whole notion, the whole understanding and thinking of death. And so as I open up my copy of Lucia, and the book opened and folded to the book of Ani, page 54 in Lucia, the book of Ani. And Lucia is a wonderful book. It's a compilation of translations of the various writings that have been gleaned from various sources that remind us who we are. They remind us of the thinking that our ancestors had when they were putting down these words. And so the reading begins. I'll be reading from passage number 4, 5, and 6, page 54. The reading goes, "When the messenger of death comes to take you, let him find you ready to go to your resting place, saying, 'Here comes one prepared before you.' Do not say then, 'I am too young to be taken.' For death comes and seizes the baby at his or her mother's breast, as well as the man and woman who have reached an old age." Passage number 5. "Guard against words and deeds of deception, and against words that are untrue. Destroy the desire to do and speak evil within you, for the evil man have no rest." And passage number 6. "Stay away from the aggressive man, and take him not for a companion. Take then for a friend one who is true and just, one whose actions you have observed. And if your righteousness equals his or hers, your friendship will be balanced." Give thanks for those words. Those words are just as applicable today as they were when the priests, scribes wrote them down. Somewhere in your vicinity there is probably a template that looks something like this, with the litany of sacrifice on it. And we have beautiful Sister Mina going to the altar. Brother Shango, the bomb, has already passed the offering envelopes. And you give thanks. And so if we could stand and read together. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Amin Ra, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Ujichagalia.
Speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our community together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together. Ujima.
Cooperative economics. And together profit comes.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and development of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness. Boomba.
The way we can leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Together, in mind, faith, we shall believe with all our hearts in our Creator, our people, and the righteousness and victory of God's word. Amen. The candles of the Nguzo Saba burns brightly, representing the 7 principles of our movement here at the Wilson community. Healing paths have been laid at the front of the altar for those who may wish to come to the front for prayer. I will take a few moments to bless these sacrifices. The rest of you may assume a comfortable position at your chair, a prayer-like posture. My brother Tayamba plays on the piano. Holy One, we come thanking you for our lives, thanking you for making us human, thanking you for making us African. Thank you, Holy One, for these sacrifices. As we know that the times are difficult and material things are often difficult to come by. So we do not take these sacrifices lightly. We ask that you bless each and every one that gave a sacrifice. We ask that you bless those perhaps that did not give as much as they wish they could have. We ask blessings as well, O Holy One. We ask that you be with us throughout the rest of this day for our services. We ask that you bless the speaker, bless the messenger that will come before us and share words. We ask that you give the messenger the words that she needs and look for to communicate the ideas and concepts that she wishes to communicate. We ask blessings upon the Wilson community, all of our members, many who are not here. We ask blessings that they may be protected wherever they may be, and return them here to this place called Wilson. We're very thankful, Holy One, for all of the teachers that have come before us. Those that have labored and without a lot of credit, without a lot of prestige, but the hunger and the drive and the desire to know truth and to once again bring our people back into the light of day. We remember those ancestors, we remember their sacrifices, and we give thanks. Holy One, help us to use these sacrifices in the most expedient way that we know. We ask that these sacrifices be manifold, that we may be able to go forward and more forceful, more powerful way, that the teachings and the words of the ancestors may radiate and echo again to the people. Again, be with us throughout this day, throughout the services, throughout the week. Keep us healthy, keep us strong, keep us in the spirit of love, the spirit of truth seeking. And return us again to this place called Wilson. We give thanks. Ashe. Amen.
afternoon. I'm Aran Hatep Wose. It is my pleasure today in an ongoing effort to establish relationships with other like-minded groups. We have a special guest today. I'm sure many of you all saw his beautiful family walk in. Some of you may remember these folks from Gwenda. Last year we went up to their farm for their annual cultural celebration, and we had a wonderful time. And a couple months ago, this brother reached out to me and said, hey, I want to work with some really good black folks who are doing positive things in the community to see what we can do for our children and ourselves. And so today, unfortunately, our guest has to leave really quickly, so we made a little change in our schedule. So many thanks to Minister Alicia for being flexible with us. We really appreciate that. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage now, I'm going to bring your brother, Reverend Tarlesson of Tarlesson Family Farms, and he'll tell you more about his farm, and then we'll talk just quickly about some ideas that he has on how we can work together in the future. And then they're going to have to leave promptly at 12:30. So we won't have the chance today to have our community dialogue around discussing these potential projects, but we'll save that discussion for a later day. But for now, Reverend Tarlesson will tell you about his farm, what they're doing, and a couple of ways he thinks that we can engage and support each other. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I bring greetings to you from the Tarlesson family and the Chedapo group of people. It is my pleasure, profound pleasure, to come before you this morning. I have my family, some of my family. Some of you know how large the family is, but some of it. And again, I inform him that this is not the first and this is not the last. I mean, this may be the first, but this certainly is not a lot. This is establishing a relationship, a community. So we will come back and have more time to stay together and do all these discussions. So for now, it's just a brief, statement from me to all of you. And again, greeting to you. Today we have these young people that be in Woodland, they're performing there. Yesterday they were in Vacaville, and so they book and they travel. And then Monday they all go to school. And yesterday I was in San Francisco, an international conference on food kind of security, but more than that, talking about a lot of stuff. And food, we were talking about agriculture. In short, let me just say this, and I'm just going to put it to you because we don't have the time here. Black in United States created agriculture from Africa. Build the agriculture system that the world today now live to feed the world population. It's a black knowledge that is used. See, they didn't bring dummy from Africa. They brought the best from Africa. They get out free. They stayed here some time and see all those that had the brain, to do the work. And not only the brain, but also the physical ability to do the kind of work in this country. It's developed the United States and the world. So let's get that straight. So I'm going to talk about agriculture. There are a few things I now took upon myself that I will be aggressively engaged with the black community around the Bay Area and throughout the United States. Because of my knowledge and my relationship with various institutions from the United Nations for 15 years, myself, we went kind of hand in hand on a lot of projects to Sacramento, to the University of California Cooperative Extension. We developed a lot of ideas of agricultural development based on my initial idea. And based on that, 2004, the United States Department of Human Services, Health and Human Services, which oversee refugees, resettlement in this country. The office called the ORR, Office of Refugee Resettlement. In 2002, I was called to Washington, D.C. to present my idea as they were hearing about it on agriculture, and I did. From there, in 2004, it became the first national initiative developed for refugees and immigrants in this country, called Royal Refugee Initiative. Basically, it's my idea. What I was telling them, what I want to tell you, tell this community and our young people. Briefly, let me say this. I discussed it with the United Nations and all the host governments, countries of government of various countries, including the United States. Why is it that Liberian refugees are in refugee camps waiting for food, waiting for someone to give them? I tell them what you need to do is, hey, make land available to them, and then they'll feed themselves. Then I tell them in this country, don't bring African in this country, and then train them in how to become welfare, recipients. What you do is, yes, they need some financial assistance and all resources, but you want to find a way to have them, for them to have the opportunity to re-enter what they can do best, which is farming and feed themselves. And so in that way, they'll be able to redevelop their skills, modernize their skills, and be more excited and more enthusiastic to do what they do best. Upon that, again, this refugee Royal Initiative was based on. And the University of California Corporate Extension, the office in Fairfield, and the office in Woodland joined together, brought together people from across the community, across various departments in the industry. We wrote the first program plan, which I have today. Now what I want to say to you, and I'm going to change for that part of the information to what I'm about. I'm trying to link this Oakland, San Francisco, Sacramento, and in between the black community to rethink agriculture. Well, hear what I'm saying about agriculture. Agriculture is not about, get your head dirty in the mud and this and that and so on, or planting tomatoes or watermelons or corn. Yes, that's just part of that too, but that is not what agriculture is about. Agriculture is about where everything began from. You see, when this world was created, the heaven and earth, there was an agriculture. And all that now today become whether the high tech and so on, and all agriculture. Medicine and all the pharmaceutical, this are all about agriculture. And in fact, people are now beginning to rethink how they can re-enter that agriculture original stage instead of all the kind of fake stuff they do, or are killing our people. There's always a side effect on any medication they give you. There's always a side effect on food we eat because it has all kind of chemicals. So the agriculture. So let me tell you, the young people, about the agriculture that they own, because we have to motivate our young people. Let me give you some outline of what agriculture is about. Well, agriculture for our young people, I'm saying, listen, it is the largest agency within the government of the United States, and it has an enormous resource, billions of dollars going there. I think some of you know the black farmers sue the United States government and trying to get some money, and they just get a few, $1 million and something like that. If you have maybe a couple $1 billion, which is not even, it is a drop of the bucket that go to the other people. That lawsuit is still going, but It's not solving the problem. It's not dealing with the issue because our people with that money is still not able to engage in productive agricultural operation. So young people, first thing, number one, there is a scholarship program within the Department of Agriculture. They have the generous scholarship. And black do not look to agriculture for scholarship. They think, well, I'm not a farmer. I'm not going to be a farmer. Well, I don't know anything about the farming thing. Okay, no. You want to be a doctor? Agriculture has it. You want to be a banker? Agriculture has it. You want to be an accountant? Agriculture has it. You want to be an inspector? In fact, I would say there is need for more inspectors because you know about 80 or 90% of the food you eat today comes from a foreign country across the board when you go to your supermarket here. And United States have people all around the world for inspection, for monitoring what coming, and as they enter in this country, they have to monitor that. We are not there. Black are not participating in that. Now, then we talked about another stage of agriculture food, where you have to come with a different product now, product that can meet your needs. And so we're looking for people like that. So I want us to rethink the agriculture in that sense. But more than that, we don't know, and then 100 years from now, what's going to take place. Did we know that 2008, a black will be a president of this country? Me, I didn't know that. I know one day it would have happened, but I didn't know what's going to happen right now. So, do you know what's going to happen in the next 100 years or 20 years from now? We got to be ready to produce and feed our own people. Go to Africa and also work with the African. The Africa have the best soil in the world, and the white knows that. They trying to go and grab everything from there. We need to do it. So I'm looking at my time. I really want to say I would like to work with this community. I'd like to work with you. And we can sit down and have some mutual discussion on how we can move forward. Not just agriculture, there's a lot of variety of stuff that we can talk about. In closing, I came to this country in 1976. Right in San Francisco. In 1980, I started my company in Oakland. I think one of the few blacks, had a company that time, and maybe one of the first or the first African. 1980, and I was engaged in telecommunication, electronics. I have a retail store, a service store where we were selling new TV and all the stuff. I went with the first cable TV teleprompter. Anybody remember that? The cable TV in this city. A lot of people don't remember it, called teleprompter. Before we went to Oakland's cable rather. Oakland cable, when they were transitioning from teleprompter, I was one of those that worked with the new company. And who know about Chuck Johnson? I think Chuck Johnson with DET. And when he started there, I'm the guy doing the camera, kind of repairing. He got a regular camera time. Well, excuse me, but he was a black man trying to do something, bring information to our people. And I was waiting to work with him. And back then, you see. And then later on, I opened another store in San Francisco. I had one here in Oakland, one in San Francisco, and I opened a technical training school here to help our young people to get some skills. And and I've been around in Oakland. I always say, when you give me the address, I know where you are, because I was a guy that every corner I went there. I want to thank all of you, and it's our pleasure. Anybody have questions? May ask. Yes.
I have a question. I want to know what you grow at your farm.
Oh, yeah.
Who are your main, who buys the most from you?
Okay. Well, we are organic. The word organic, again, I have to use it because it's what people understand what it means. But as an African, we don't think we're organic because there's no chemical. It's in the first place. So, in our big farm. So what we grow everything. I do the African vegetables. We are becoming the largest African vegetable, fresh vegetable producer. We will be the number one in the country. That's our goal. We do Asian vegetable. We are about to supply one of the major Asian supermarket. Probably will be the only fresh vegetable supplier for that supermarket. So we are developing a relationship to produce a specialty for them in Vacaville, O'Connor Square supermarket. And then we'll spend. We do the U.S. European vegetable like you buy for all the things, watermelons and corn and broccoli and all of that we do. And so we are now moving to also to become a major chicken producer. We are introducing probably the first of a kind in the world, the type of chicken operator system. And last year, the Department of Agriculture, the secretary for the state secretary here in the country was to my farm. I think they did a block on the Tarlesson farm. So he was there trying to describe my chicken operator as a free range. I said, no, there's no free range here. The kind of loose term you're used to kind of manipulate the whole process of saying, I'm doing a natural organic chicken operation. No hand, no human control on the chicken. I have an 18-acre that I fence up where we allow the chicken to just naturally, and when they are 9, they go to bed. And we are introducing that, and it will be a maker. And then we also, we have a 50-acre that we farm, that we live on. And so, come.
That was it, like how big is the farm and how many workers do you need to cultivate?
I need all the workers. I need the entire group here to be involved. Let me just tell you, in fact, let me say this. A lot of black people got land in this country. Right here, and they are not putting in production. Okay, I have a friend right in Vacaville. He has about 350 acres, beautiful place. And I'm going to put it in production if I have you come on my side. And it's beautiful land. I went there and cleaned it up in 2006. Then he loved the place. He lived in Sacramento. And we have another guy right aside by him in Vacaville. He got 165 acre black man, and nothing is done on that land. Okay? And I can go on, I tell you about black land owners. But they just own the land and not farm. I tell them, you're not a farmer because you got to live on the land, live off the land. You see, you can't have a 200 acre, 500 acre, and then you working for the, Young Bro Corporation over there to feed your people, and you're sitting on the land that's supposed to feed your community. The question?
I have one there.
Yeah.
I'm a farmer myself. Come from Mississippi. So we had many acres, but it wasn't our land. It was somebody else's land we worked on. But I did 16 years of my life on a farm. So I realized that organic stuff like cow manure, chicken manure that we used to use to put on the soil. No chemical at that particular time.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Yeah, and so we'll take it across the country. There are people tell me where we own land in that area, in that state, in this state, and we want to put it in production. We can create our workforce, and we can do all that. Open a supermarket, open restaurants, supply our own people. Me, I'm for that. Yes. Count on me on that one.
All right.
We'll take one more question.
Yes.
One more question.
No, 2 more questions.
Okay, because I was just gonna say, it would help, like, how they have the Farmer's Almanac, like, a lot of people are so disconnected from the land, we don't even know when we should be planting, or what we should be planting, or when to harvest. So it would be nice if we had a calendar to say, okay, at the farms on this month, we're gonna be preparing and doing, so we would know, I don't know.
Yes.
Some kind of calendar for volunteers.
On the 26th, last month, no, this month, April 26th, we had about 40 people from Oakland here, bus tour on a farm. We have people come from San Francisco and some from Oakland, Sacramento. So you need to plan a tour on the farm. Then you see for yourself. Then it kind of will make sense to you. So do that. And if you need some help to do that, I will help. And we got a little bus here, and we can add a few more buses and go there. So you need to take a trip there. Yeah.
Who are you currently marketing your vegetables and your food products to now?
Well, we are in the process, but in Oakland, the Bedella Food Market.
Okay.
And this brother used to be part of that.
Yeah.
Okay, and they are growing. As we are starting, just to start. And like I said, there's a kind of square supermarket. But this year now we are going all across, all out, developing from farmer market. And those are the farmer market. The USDA got a lot of funding for farmer market people to set up a farmer market. They got funding, and we can write for that, funding. They have produce program to fund, grant money for those kind of things. And I'm connected, so I can help you to get through if you want to write and do that kind of thing, and we can kind of collaborate. I can be involved with that and do that. So there's a lot of money there, and particularly this election time. I don't have to tell you that. You know that this election time, they just went around trying to give the money out. But we don't, so thank you. And then that's the last question.
Okay. That's the last question for now. What I'm passing out is a whole set of questions that we were going to try to shoot at him today. But since he's coming back, we got more time to think it through. And we may add some more questions to this. And one of them is setting up a farmer's market here at Jose. Okay. And what I'm handing out, like I said, has those questions on it, and on the back side is information about Brother Tarlesson's family farm and some of the activities that they're doing. There are two major activities coming up. One Saturday, May 26th, like next week. Yes. And then there's their 4th annual cultural festival where you get food and music and everything free. And that's going to be on the 1st of July. So all that information is coming out to you. So we got some bullets ready for him.
Thank you very much. That's the part that makes
So, thank you very much. Okay, can we get the whole family to stand up so we can acknowledge the folks in the room, the beautiful people in the room? Thank
you. Put your hand up, Mata. Yeah, she just got an AA Friday from Woodland Community.
Hey!
She's the first of the group that came. There are 26 that came on December 6, 7, 2005. 26 of my family on one plane arrived one day in this country. And they are now in college. This is our first, one that just graduated from, got associate this weekend. And when they came, they were not going to school in refugee camp. They came from refugee camp, but they had to study triple time, quadruple time to try to catch up because the system is different. Here, if you were in ABC or first grade, in my age, that first grade you got to start from. But here, they say no. You are 17, you go in the grade 7, that 17 years old be in. And that what happened to them. They had to do their study quadruple time every day. And all of them, those are this young lady coming out from high school, that one finished. They're coming out next year. I got about 5 coming out this year. All the young men, they got through with all their state tests and everything. And they will come out. Last year we put out 3. The year before we put out 2. And so next year we put out 5. All going to college.
All right. just to put it on, while on that theme of education, that's a very beautiful story. And Tarlesson family, we definitely want to welcome you back to our community sometime. We're going to be coming to visit you all as well. And if you get a chance, I left some materials with Reverend Tarlesson about our school, because education is something that's very important to us as well. So we actually run a school here from kindergarten through 8th grade, primarily focusing on black children and how to best teach our black children and instill in them a sense of pride and identity so that they can go out to this world and be productive members of society. So thank you very much, you all, for coming to visit us. Have a safe travel. Welcome to the show. Congratulations on all your success, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. So at this point in our service, I'll bring up Brother Ty, and he'll coordinate our next activity. Thank you all very much for your engagement and your patience.
Okay, let's hear one more time for Reverend Tarlesson and his family. Okay, for those who were here last year we actually put together carpool and we went up to the festival. And so we'll do the same thing this year. So we'll put together a carpool, and on July the 1st, I think was the date I heard?
Yes.
We'll meet here at Say in the morning, and we'll carpool up and we'll participate in their festival. Last year there was free food, all Liberian food, and it was well worth the, what was it, an hour and a half drive? 2 hour drive? Yeah, so it's well worth it. Okay. Now that we were originally going to have Reverend Tarlesson speak after the service was over, but as he said, he had to leave. And so our message today will be brought to us by Sister Minister Alicia, who is visiting us from Sacramento with her family. And we certainly welcome you, Sister Alicia, and thank you for being blessed with us. So let's welcome Sister Alicia, Minister Alicia, and her family.
Give thanks. I'm right here. My children are very free, so as you can see.
So they gonna give the message then?
They might. Mommy is mommy no matter where I am. So, Amin Rahatep. I'm getting set up because I have lots of books for you guys today. Let's see. And thank you, sister. Where did she go? Oh, she walked through. The sister who prayed earlier. I don't know how she knew what I was going to be speaking of today, but her prayer was right on time. Yes, my children, to please sit. So greetings and hetep to all of you seers, imaginers, thinkers, hearers, and doers of the way. Yes. Greetings from Say, Sacramento. We are joyous and glorious and living in the light of Amun Ra today. I pray that last week all of you mamas felt abundant love coming from every which way.
Yes.
And you fathers, your day is coming soon. The freedom writing today is coming from 2000 Seasons. It's coming from page 104 and 105. I'm a big reader, so I like to read. I hope you guys like to listen and read along. And it says, if you're following along, it's in the middle of the page. We came away from the desert's edge thinking we were fleeing ruin, but its deepest causes we carried with us to new places. Within our bosom, we still made room for the inadequate, wanton, stupid, noble privilege. We fed a disease, killing us. The other, complementary disease, the blight without, which the first would have remained mere irritation. That other plague came at us incredible and monstrous from the sea. The thoughtful among us had thought in the new place to search again for the way, whose beginning is reciprocity, whose continuation is reciprocity. But here in this new home, wild and strange new arguments arose to stun the thoughtful into silence, to urge the thoughtless to the dance of triumph. For now, men rose to cast blame upon the spirit of reciprocity itself for the suffering we had undergone. Men capable of seeing some strange possibility of rebirth in the destruction of reciprocity itself. These men they had seen in the destructive thrust of the desert whites against our people a fire to fascinate their souls. They praised the white predator's road, seeing in it the generator of a triumphant violence. On us they urged the desirability of that road, the road set irrevocably against reciprocity, the road set against our way, the way. In the suppression of women first, in the reduction of all things, of all females to things, things for pleasure, things for use, things in the hands of men. These admirers of the white predator's road saw a potent source of strength for men. In the subjugation of producers to the parasites, amazing, senseless somersault, those fascinated with the white destroyer's road heard the promise of power unlimited. And at the peak of their enthusiasm, they urged on us the setting up of a king from among the parasites, to whom all, parasites, producers, women, children, in the condensation of the white destroyer's road, would be bound in unthinking, unquestioning allegiance. In such arrangements, the admirers saw the roots of the white predator's power. Along that road, they urged our going. The title of the message today is The Sacred Feminine Principle.
Yes. Yes.
I look out at the world these days, and as much beauty as I see, I also see a whole lot of ugly. Today's black woman is stressed beyond belief under this system of oppression. America tells black girls that they are hoochie mamas and mythological superwomen who don't need no man. They tell them that they are loud talking, finger popping, gum chewing little girls that don't seem to know how to grow up. This is what's being portrayed on TV, music videos, and in the pop music itself. So we have an issue here. This current Western society propagandizes the thought patterns of ancient Europe. In Europe, the man was thought to be good and more powerful and stronger than the women, and the women were thought to be bad, to be weak, to be pretty much useless. The woman was weaker, only there to bear children and cook the meat the man hunted down, and in their culture, these things were not respected as being important. In African societies, the ability to create life made the African woman close to God on earth. Her stability and her ability to nourish the family made her central to the family life. In African societies, the woman and woman's work was respected. When the Indo-Europeans came to steal, kill, and destroy, they also brought along their thoughts and their ideas about how things should be. So as time marched on, the rule of the Europeans were attacks on the mind as well. Thoughts about women changed, and women began to be oppressed and treated less than men. Here in the U.S., we see it mostly after integration, and then more so after the rise of the information. The TVs, the radios, the internets, all controlled by a handful of companies that create this popular culture. Have you ever listened to the radio in your car while you're driving somewhere? Then you go to that place, hang out for about an hour. When you get back in your car, the song's on. And you catch yourself wondering, is that song still on? Because we can't fathom the fact that they would play a song and then play it again so soon, when they have all these different songs to pick from. But they have a top 40 playlist that they recycle every hour so that we can get indoctrinated with the messages within the songs. So we have to be careful what we are training our minds on. Because no matter how conscious we are or how conscious we think we are, we know that something seeps through. Something of their propaganda gets in because their approach is multifaceted and it's relentless. It attacks from every angle, disguised as flash, pop, and circumstance. And as much as we try to combat it and say, oh, well, I'm not, really listening for that, it's just on for, someone else, it still seeps through. Wiz Khalifa has a song, Young, Wild, and Free. And do not let my kids listen to this song. The hook of the song is, so what we get drunk, so what we smoke weed, we're just having fun, we don't care who sees. So what we go out, that's how it's supposed to be, living young, wild, and free. The rest of the song is no better. This tells me right now that the youth are under attack. When I was in junior college, we would say the students are the spark, the youth are the intelligentsia, the spark and the intelligence of the revolution. They are the ones with the freedom, the mind power, the strength, the stamina, and the ability to create real and social, political change in this society. But if they're constantly fed these lyrics, hour after hour after hour, about partying, getting drunk, and high all the time, they have no concept nor interest in creating change in this society. Which is exactly what the powers that be desire to keep them asking. They want to tell us that youth is this thing where you go out and you do whatever you want and whatever happens with the consequences, we don't care, we're just going to go party, we're going to do this and whatnot. But your youth is not for that. We can't take those years of your stamina, of your strength, of your power, of your mind being focused and attentive and throw them away on alcohol and on drugs and on partying, and you don't get your sleep. Your liver gets damaged. So many people during that time, it's so formative at that particular time in life, some people can't get out of that period. Once you go up and you mess up so much and you're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, you jack your body up and your mind up so much, it takes until you're 40, 50 years old to get up out of that.
Yes.
But it's all purposeful and by design, brothers and sisters. And we have to know this, and we have to teach our children this. They want us to think this and think, oh, we're not going to do it, we're just singing to the music. But if you're singing to the music at 11 and 12 years old, that stuff is seeping into your mind. So when you're 15, 16, 17 years old and somebody hands you a joint, you really won't think twice about it. Somebody hands you a bottle of alcohol, you're like, hey, this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're young, we're wild, we're free. And our girls, we are living in vicious cycles without understanding the causes of our problems and our issues. We have young girls without daddies in the home. Then they go out and they look for somebody to love them like their father should have been doing. And they come up on a young boy who's had the same type of situation, no daddy in the home. He's looking for the young girl. Now both of them too, the boy probably had a mama who had, with men in and out of the house. They had to call this person uncle, that person uncle. Not knowing, some of them not knowing who their fathers are.
Right.
And these two get together And then eventually they end up having a baby. And the young brother is in a situation where he feels powerless because he's young, he can't find a job, his mind is not on that, and all of a sudden he's got 9 months to figure this all out. So he has to make a choice. So his choice, a lot of times in our youth, is to leave. And so now there's another situation. So it's a whole repetitive process that we are going through. Again and again and again. So brothers and sisters, our relationships are not surviving and thriving in this particular environment. We have taken on Western mentalities regarding relationships, as well as regarding who we are as people. And it is destroying us. But then again, that was the plan. From infecting us with HIV, to mass experiments, to helping us kill our babies through abortions, to infiltrating drugs into our community, to creating situations where the black man has to leave his family in order to find work, to filling our minds with racist and sexist propaganda, we can see it as a pattern of behavior, all to keep the power structure in place and to subjugate the people. The DNA of people of color, the black man and the black woman specifically, are dominant and therefore can biologically eliminate the powers that be from the planet. So in order to survive, they have to figure out each and every way they can to destroy us. So they strike at our foundation all day, every day, through the black family. They try to take our kids from as soon as somebody says they're pregnant. And I'm not talking about, okay, way after. No, they're trying to take our kids from the womb. Because it's really nothing more than popular belief that it is the natural order for the white man to rule over the black man and the male to rule over the female. That's just popular belief. It's been that way so long that we can't even imagine it being any other way. But it's that thought process that's keeping us stagnant. Africans are quite capable of running their own governments, societies, communities, and households. Because before European contact and corruption, we were doing just that, and quite well, I might add. Yes, family-wise, we had a system, an idea of complementary opposites, not opposing opposites, like the Western view. Africans saw male and female as being complementary to each other, just like the Creator created. So when you look at nature, all you see is male-female complements in our African cosmology. And I'm reading over to Shaka's Return to the African Mother principle of male and female equality. And he asserts that no matter what style or division of labor that we took on in history and currently, males and females were both seen as doing important work that complements each other. For example, if you had a society to where one does the farming and one does the hunting, the family can all get together and have meat and potatoes. And no one's work was more important than the others. Because then the family got a chance to eat, and that's what the point was. On page 198 of his book, he says, Twa societies are characterized by their equal nature and equalitarian organization. In building their huts, the men gather the saplings while the women gather the mongongo roofing leaves. These materials are distributed to families according to the size of the family, not according to the wealth or rank of the person. All adult Mbuti are of equal rank. There is no accumulation of wealth in Mbuti society. One group of Mbuti people use large nets for hunting. Net hunting is organized on equalitarian principles with men working one side of the net and women working the other side. Mbuti women are responsible for making the noise to draw animals into the net, while the stronger men spear the animals caught in the net. Decisions within net bands are made jointly by men and women. There are no net band chiefs or charismatic leaders. Every adult male and female has an equal input into net band decisions. Another way that some Mbuti people get food is through hunters who are archers and food gatherers. The archers are male and the food gatherers are female. Every adult has the right to voice his or her opinion on any issue. If any person has more influence on a particular topic or issue, it is because they have earned that respect through deeds or ability. Mbuti people operate through collective, cooperative authority over nearly all areas of life, including net hunting, marriage, family disputes, and child rearing. Mbuti children, like many other traditional African children, regard all women of their mother's age group as mothers, and all men of their father's age group as fathers. All adults treat Mbuti children as their own, giving them tender affection and disciplining them when necessary. Still, the closest bond between children and adults is with their blood parents. And this is what we're used to. But we've taken on someone else's thought process of what a man and woman should be doing, of what man's work is more important than women's work. That's somebody else's thought process, and it's destroying our families. It's destroying us from the inside out. Because the woman is like, well, why aren't you doing this? Because her expectation is from the Western society of what the man should be doing. And if he's not doing X, Y, and Z, all of a sudden he ain't nothing. No, he ain't about his business. And the man's like, well, what are you doing? Because the woman's work is not given its importance, not given its proper due respect. Because she might not be making the money of the household, all of a sudden she's less than. That's Western mentality. And it's tearing down our families. That is not our way. In creation, there's Amun and Amunet, the hidden and its opposite. Nun and Naunet, primeval waters encounter heaven. Kuk and Kauket, darkness and its opposite. And Hu and Hauhet, boundlessness and its opposite. These are masculine and feminine aspects of creation itself, which if you were to make these words an acronym would spell Ankh, just by the way. But all through our cosmology, we see the masculine and feminine principles working to complement each other. Like without darkness, there'd be no light type of thing. The society is trying to pit the black man and woman against each other, but we are not each other's enemies. We can say this person is not doing this and this person is not doing that, but we need to engage each other in intellectual discussions daily, constantly, moment by moment and second by second. Because that's how much they are trying to get in our minds. Every time you turn on the television, they're trying to get into your minds, telling you that you are less than. To hate yourself, love them, and do whatever harm that you can to yourself and to your family. Break your family up. It's okay, because you can go over there and get somebody else and start a new family. It's not our way. The thought process of Africans being able to bring back the way of Ma'at without a conscious mental shift and a bloody murder of the little white man that lives inside of us is absurd. And we all have one. Don't say you don't. That little white person lives inside. Because if we have spent any time in the US of A and even around the world, watching any type of television, listening to any type of radio, reading mainstream newspapers and magazines, whether going to Western schools or any time on the internet, that little white man is somewhere, propagandized and socialized inside of us. Us conscious people have been able to kind of push him down and subdue him more so than maybe some others, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. We all have him, but he needs to be exterminated from within us and within our children. We need to find our African minds and push forward with the concepts and ideas of masculinity and femininity, family, spirituality, and community that work for us, the African people. The African woman who nourishes and protects the seed of the future, who gives birth to the nation, and who is the first educator of what humanity, justice, intelligence, love, compassion, femininity, and righteousness is, has to protect her mind at all costs. We can't be too busy trying to show our masculine side that we forget that there is power in femininity too. We have been brainwashed to think that masculine is strong and feminine is weak. The Creator laid the foundation of the entire world through the feminine principle of Ma'at. So why, sisters, are we thinking that who we are is less than? It's that little white man in the back of us. We've been socialized to think that way. Assimilated, thank you, Ashe. We have the example of Queen Mother Aset, who knew and taught the science of agriculture, whose devotion allowed her such power as to receive the seed of a star and have the stamina and strength to search for her beloved not once but twice over all the lands, who even in her sorrows, in her dire despair, found favor with the queen. We have numerous examples of femininity as anything but weak, yet we still subscribe to the enemy's notion of masculine over feminine. And please don't confuse what I'm saying. It ain't right to have feminine over masculine either. The Creator meant for the male and female of all things, humanity included, to be harmonious complements of each other. The feminine mind is not devoid of masculine qualities, but just simply the right brain is dominant for most women. It's the art, the music, the creativity, imagination, insight, and intuition. All the things that they've been taking out of schools in order to produce more masculine-centered, male-dominated society. It's all in their plan. We just have to combat it. You all see it. Years ago, they started pulling out the art. They started pulling out the music. They started pulling out anything that has to do with the imagination. It was no more time to play at school. The time to play got shorter and shorter. Until sometimes the kid, we didn't have a chance to play today, we were so busy. Kindergartners with 5, 6, 7 pages of homework. Don't know how to sweep the floor, but got to sit there with a pencil and paper for 2 hours at night in kindergarten. My son's in kindergarten, he's 6 years old. A 6-year-old sitting there for 2 hours trying to do some pencil to paper writing. That just leads to frustration. It leads to contempt. It leads to, I don't want to do this. Why do I have to do this? I should be playing. Can I play? All so that the males, by the time they get, because he just want to play. The boys, they're out there, they want to play. They want to get into things. That's what they should be doing at 5 and 6 years old. They want to get them so confined. They're so frustrated that by the time they're in their teens, they don't want to hear nothing that teacher has to say. They don't want to do none of the work. They don't want to do any of that because it's irrelevant. They've been doing it for so long, and it's been such a constraint. And all that domination, it's all taking a toll. And then we have this big dropout rate. It's all by design. We just have to do what we can to combat it. The feminine principle of life itself is worthy of respect and honor and glory every single day. Much respect to all the women who are doing it, who have done it, or will someday be mothers, for accepting the creative call to take part in creating life for our people. And those of you women who can't or don't have children, you still have those mother spirits, sisters. Because the great mother is giving. She's nurturing, creative, protective, sweet and powerful, determined, seeks out the best for you. Think of everything that mothers are. That spirit is within you whether you've born a child or not. And one thing that all mothers do is work, and work hard. And I want to read to you. I've been reading a lot, but it is information that we need to hear out loud sometimes. Because a lot of times we read it to ourselves, but when we can hear it out loud, it just manifests in a different way. I want to read Frances Cress Welding's The ISIS Papers. And she talks to us on page 288 and 289 about the black woman and what we can do. And the black males can do these things too. It's not just. What must we as black women do? It is my conviction that the African proverb, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the nation and its destiny, is true. Black women are the mothers and thus the first teachers of black females and black males alike. With increased consciousness of their importance as the first teachers, black women can determine whether future generations of black children will be warriors or if we will continue to be slaves, living in a highly refined state of psychological oppression, which is no less a death than direct physical destruction. Black women as mothers and teachers can teach the first powerful lessons in pride and respect for cultural, historical, and genetic blackness, while steadfastly refusing to impart any part of the white oppressor's lesson in black self-hate that we learn as children. Like if you're black, stay back. If you're brown, stick around. If you're yellow, you're mellow. And if you're white, you're all right. Many of you heard that. Yes. Black mothers must cease making their first concern whether or not their babies will have light skin or straight hair. The newborn infant can tell from the mother's first touch whether she is pleased or disappointed with its color, appearance, or gender. Certainly later the child can tell the mother's respect for blackness by the comments she makes about who is a pretty girl and who is a handsome boy and who has the proverbial good or bad hair. All of these lessons that we have been taught by our white oppressors to teach our young, we must refuse to ever teach again. Yes. But black women as mothers and first teachers can take their consciousness to an even higher level. They can give the first lesson in what constitutes black manhood. They can teach all of their sons that they are not their babies or their substitute lovers. Black women can be the first to inform their sons with loving kindness that they did not bring them into this world to be oppressed. I remember many times yelling at my children, I didn't bring you here to be a slave. Rather, they brought them into the world to be free men, warriors who have to war to be free, and to die if they so happen to die in the fight for their right to be full men under the stars. Black women must cease saying to child psychiatrists, I'll never tell my baby anything like that. Black women can teach their sons and their daughters that the definition of a black man is not simply someone who can buy things, a nice home, a car, a yacht, and clothes, but rather someone who will respect, support, protect, and defend himself, his woman, and his children. And finally, black men are those who will do whatever is necessary to ensure their families' respect, support, protection, and defense. Black women as mothers and teachers consciously can teach their daughters that black women, as the mothers of all mankind, are the alpha and the omega of women on this planet. They were here in the beginning, and if humankind remains, they will be present in the end. Black mothers can teach their daughters that they should never seek to look like or be like anything other than themselves. They can set the standards of what women will be like on this planet. For this is their responsibility, coming from the tradition of the first mothers and queens. Black women can teach their daughters that respect is not given to women by men, but that black women carry themselves the highest possible level of self-respect that commands respect from men and women of all races. Black women can teach their daughters how they possibly assist in the destruction of black men, and how black people, by allowing black men to hide out, to allow this hiding out when they know the men should turn and face their oppressors is an extreme level of self-destruction. We as the mothers must teach our children how to fight and be free. So I'm reading this, and I'm loving these words. So all you sacred women out there, tie your babies on your backs, wrap up your locks, or your afros, your naturals, lace up your boots, pick up your spears, because sisters, we got work to do. Ashe. And I'll be back to talk about you brothers next
And she will be back on Father's Day. All right, to talk about